Hello? Hello?
Hello.
Mr. Gaffigan, is that
Hello.
you? Good. How are you? My name's Adam.
That is me. How's it going?
It's good. Can you hear me pretty well?
I can hear you pretty well.
Okay. If you have any problem. Yeah. Good. Great. Well, this is a thrill for me because I can say that I'm finally talking with my favorite living comedian.
Oh my gosh, you've got fantastic taste. Well, thank you.
I go for the pale comedian, as it were.
It's usually pale people that are attracted to pale people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But,
Yeah. There's an unspoken shorthand between us, right? Because we're,
yes. It's hard to complain about being pale. Hitler kind of did a problem on that, so it's one of those things where you have to be delicate in how you complain about it.
It only took about a minute to get to Hitler.
There you go. We're there.
Let me ask you a question, Jim Gaffigan. Listen, I know you've been doing dramatic roles for, I'm going to say, well over a decade now. Maybe even far longer than that. At least in terms of movies. Is that safe to say? Over a good decade now, you've been taking dramatic roles. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's been off and on for a while, and it's not that I've decided to do them necessarily. It's just that I've gotten the roles, I guess.
So you don't even audition. People just.
Talent.
That's good.
Well, no, I definitely have auditioned for some of them, but I think there's been a greater openness to me as there's also there's different worlds. So there's the comedy world where people might know me, but there's my manager used to always describe it as like everyone in coach knows who you are, but no one in first class does. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't know what you mean. I don't fly first class like you guys do, but no, I do. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Of course I know what you mean. Sorry. I'm like antagonizing you for some reason. I apologize.
No, it's quite all right.
No, I knew exactly what you mean. So I had a line of questions, but now you made me change course a little bit just for a minute. Do other comedians, a lot of comedians are working as actors. I mean, that's true since the beginning of stand-up, probably. But do you find like your colleagues in the comedy world, do they really appreciate your acting? Or are they threatened that you're like this multi-hyphenate? Or is it they don't care? Nobody cares?
I don't think people cares. I think that in the end, like in the comedy world, in the stand-up world, there's a mutual respect that goes around, and as long as you're authentic and are who you are, people kind of fellow comedians, they don't care if somebody does anything else with their life. You know what I mean? Like if you're saying you're a comedian, as long as you are one, that's what they care about.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. You are playing this guy, Frank, who's a dad. The problem with this movie, more than almost any other that I've had, that I talk about with my guests that I do on this podcast, is that you can't even talk about the plot 5 minutes into it without giving away major spoilers. So we're not going to, as a result. We're going to let people arrive at all that by itself. But you don't play the most... You play a complicated dude, I'll say that much. I mean... What is it, your biggest challenge to make him likable and relatable, or is that something you worked on with Miranda Bailey, the director?
Yeah, I would say the likability was a big obstacle because what this guy does, and because it's a comedy, it's a comedy drama.
It is,
but how he what he is guilty of or what defines him is very much, I played it like people, we all have secrets, and some of them are, have no effect on other people, and some of them have dramatic effect on people. I play a guy who his secrets have a dramatic effect on, his family. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
But I think that's kind of. I also love like stories where you unconsciously end up rooting for someone who's not a good guy.
Yes.
You know, and I think like that's something that's what Game of Thrones is all about. You're like, wait a minute, didn't I hate that person? And now I'm kind of like rooting for them.
Sure.
So,
most HBO series are about that. In fact, if you Showtime series.
Right.
Look at James Gandolfini, right?
Yeah.
And go ahead.
Yeah, it's the anti-hero, right? You know.
Yes.
And so, but that's not the first time. I'm not going to say this guy is, comparable to Tony Soprano, but like we all have friends that have done things that are not great. And I think there's the humanity that is kind of universal. I mean, there's the absolute sociopath that are kind of outside of that world.
Sorry.
But, everyone else, we're pretty much just, we're bad at being humans.
I agree. I would take it a step further. You say everybody has a friend, but I would just say everybody. I mean, I totally related to Frank. Not that, I share his secret, sadly. But we definitely, I agree. But, I think you guys worked out the relationship with the son, the character of you and your son, your relationship really well. It was a very careful balance that you guys were able to manage quite well, I'd say. Good for you guys.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, well, thank you, but I think a lot of that has to do with, Logan Miller is like one of those guys that, he kind of, there's almost an older wisdom about him that is beyond his years.
Yeah.
He's like in his 20s playing a teenager, but he is kind of baby faced so he can play the teenager.
Yes.
But, I had a lot of fun working with him. Like, he's like a good egg. Like, I would hang out with him whenever I could.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's still like you don't shoot everything in order. So, like, the awkwardness of the parental relationship was much more something we had to work. That was more acting than when they were kind of comrades and bonding together.
Sure. You know what else I enjoyed? You mentioned Logan Miller. He's terrific. It was so fun to see Samantha Morton. No, not Samantha Morton. Samantha...
Yeah.
Huh?
Samantha Mathis, yeah.
Mathis, excuse me. Why did I say...
Yeah.
That's another actress.
Yeah.
It was so much... I'll rephrase.
Yeah.
It was so terrific to see Samantha Mathis again. I always really, really liked her a lot, and I was frustrated that I didn't get to see her more frequently, and hopefully this is... maybe she's been back and I haven't caught her in anything, but I see a lot of stuff, and I'm always looking for her.
Yeah, no, it is interesting because, I hadn't seen tons of stuff with her, but I had seen tons of posters of her, so I knew of her.
Mm-hmm.
But like she was like a sweetie. She's great. And,
yeah.
It's like I think people, again, in life, people have like these different paths, and so like I don't know. I didn't really cry, but like I think she might have kind of removed herself from kind of the entertainment game for a while.
Well, we know that for a young, beautiful woman, it may have been a difficult, as we don't really know what's going on, but we do hear about it, certainly more these days, so maybe she was, who knows, it's not mine to guess, I suppose, but in the end, it's just great to see her, and you guys are terrific. So, if Being Frank, which is the film that we're talking about, is opening, at least in New York and L.A. on the 14th of June, and then I'm sure it's going to go much wider, directed by Miranda Bailey and starring funny man Jim Gaffigan. I used to have this girlfriend, and we discovered you together. So I just, it's a little bit surreal sometimes to think I'm finally talking to you, because I had this whole period of time where we would just listen to you and share and spend endless hours listening to your comedy. I'm no longer with her, but I feel like I'm still with you. So,
well, she was never as important as you and I.
Well, that comes as a relief. I mean, I have a little closure now on this whole relationship.
Yeah.
I just also saw you in a documentary. You weren't in much of it, I will say, but it was the Eugene Mirman, the documentary about his festival that was having its last go. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. I had done Eugene's. I never ended up seeing that film just because it. Eugene now lives on the Cape, and I think it was at South by Southwest, and I was gonna be at South by Southwest, but my schedule was all different. And I've been out of town. I was out of town when they had a screening in New York, so it's one of those things where I haven't seen that movie. But of course, Eugene had this festival that
Yes.
He would kind of curate. It started, and the film it started as a joke. It started as a joke, the Eugene Mirman Festival, and he totally curated it with kind of his friends and comedians that he liked. And so coming out of the whole alt comedy. Did that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So it was like kind of.
I didn't see it.
It's real good. It's actually going to be, by the way, in case you do, and I mean, you have like 30 projects going on. The publicist forwarded me this whole laundry list of projects that you're involved with coming up or currently engaged in, and it's that's more what other people are going to resent you for, is that you're hogging all the good parts. If you're around in a couple of weeks, they're going to play it at BAM is doing it up there. They have a little festival every year, and they're going to be playing it there. That's how I got to see it, because they sent me a screener of that. And it was very good.
Oh, okay.
Anyway. But, yeah.
Cool.
One thing that just comes out of that as we wind down is that I would just ask you how everybody is at home. I know that one thing that was, of course, a main component to this documentary about Eugene Mirman is that during the course of it, his wife was, the family was dealing with her illness. And I know you went through a similar scare in the last couple of years.
Yeah. My wife is doing well. It's actually, because she just revealed, she wrote a book about her whole experience.
What's the name of it?
When Life Gives You Pears.
What is it called?
When Life Gives You Pears. It's kind of a play on Life Gives You Lemon.
Yes.
And so that is, and they just revealed the cover. So it's like, that's coming out in October.
Great.
So we've been kind of, so she's been writing this book for the past year, and anyone who's written a book, it's like, you don't do that if you're, on life support.
No.
So she's doing well. I mean, it is kind of, you recover from getting a pear-shaped tumor removed from your head.
Right.
You're not the person you were before, but you are, in her case, her 80% is most people's 110%. So.
Well, I hope I send you nothing but the best regards and wishes for, full recovery, and hope everybody's okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you. Can you this is really terrific. You really are terrific, and it is a very funny, enjoyable movie. It's called Being Frank, starring Jim Gaffigan, Logan Miller, then Samantha Mathis, since we met, and a bunch of other very fine actors, directed by Miranda Bailey, coming out June. Good luck with that film and all your other projects. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.